Hello, hello, hello. Okay, give everyone just a little bit of time to come on in here. The hell is... Why is he in the news? Well, whatever. Okie dokie. All right, let's begin. Oh, yeah, I am, I think. Let's see if this is... Yep. I really gotta fix this fucking mic. All right, let's start. Pasta recipe everybody needs in
Welcome
their
back
life.
to another video, guys. Today we are making fresh pasta and I'm going to show you how to make this incredible blonde lamb ragu. It is absolutely to die for. It is perfect for the summer and it starts off with the vegetables. So normally...
Of course it has peas in it. What is British people's obsession with peas?
we have onions, carrots and celery. We're subbing out the carrots for some lovely fennel, which is going to give us a really nice aniseedy flavour. We just got to dice that up, get that into a pot, sweat it down, and we're going to move on to our protein. You must know how to chop an onion by now, guys, if you've been subscribed for long enough. But if you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the channel. This one, normally my food is quite recognisable, but this one's
You're British. It sucks.
a bit more interesting. It's a bit different, but equally delicious, so don't worry. You don't really have to worry about the size or the style of cutting because it's cooking for such a long time. You know, it's going to break down. Chopping up a fennel is just like chopping off an onion. So chop off the gnarly little bits at the end. These bits are no good. Chop off the bottom and then cut it in half like this. So the outer leaves tend to be a bit gross, so just get rid of those. So this is the root here, we want to keep that intact, and just like we would an onion, we cut it the exact same way, dice it up so they're all the same size, and they cook evenly. Because lamb is quite strong in flavour, this really lifts the dish, and just makes for a really nice, interesting stew. I mean, we all know and love spaghetti bolognese, but you know, throw this one in the mix once in a while. Just keep your family on the toes, and I'm sure they're gonna love it. So this is the foundation flavor. This is a mirepoix of celery, onions, and fennel. That just goes into a pot with a bit of veg oil, touch of salt, cook it on a low, slow heat. And basically what sweating means is to cook them down until they're completely soft without any color. So just gently agitate them.
Again,
we're just gonna soften
do you
them
know
up
what pepper is?
while we get onto the lamb. So the lamb, we've got some beautiful lamb mince right here. We just need to season it up with some salt and pepper. Then what we're gonna do, we're gonna get into a ripping hot frying pan just so we get some really nice caramelization, because this is the best time in the recipe to add flavor to this lamb. Because as it caramelizes, that flavor intensifies. It's also gonna give us a lovely color in our final braise. Top tip when browning mince is that if you clump them up into little almost meatballs, you do tend to get a bit of a better caramelization. If you just lump it all in and mix it continuously, it goes quite gray, and that's not what we want. We want that sear that you'd get on a steak, but just with lamb mince. So I'm just gonna add little globs of lamb mince into the pan and wait for it to go golden brown, flip it over, and then it's ready to go into the pan. While the lamb finishes off browning, we're gonna move over to another level of flavor. We've got some garlic and chili. Now you might be thinking, lamb and chili, does it work? Does it not? Yes, it does. It is gonna give us that little bit of kick. It just makes it a little bit more interesting. It's another flavor profile that is present when you are eating the food. And for me, it just works so well. So we're gonna have about 4 or 5 cloves of garlic and half a chili. Now all this beautiful garlic and chili goes in with the veggies. Now we want to give this opportunity to fry. As this fries, all those sugars caramelize and the aroma will start to permeate throughout the stew. Now we're going back to the lamb. So on the bottom here, we've got some beautiful, it's called fond. It's basically like caramelized meat, and there's loads of flavor left in this pan. Okay.
Careful with the metal spoon in your non-stick.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna deglaze with a lovely white wine and some chicken stock just to lift that off. That goes into a pot, and then we're just gonna simmer that for about an hour and 15 minutes while we crack on with the pasta. Now we are tackling the fresh pasta. Now this is a wonderful creator, Johnny Mullick's recipe. He's this kind of Mancunian, rough and ready, sexy Italian guy.
Not a woman, just a cool, great-looking best friend.
I actually don't know him. This is his recipe. It basically consists of 00 flour, semolina, pinch of salt, and we just mix that around. And then we're just gonna crack in some eggs. Now we've gone for some Burford Browns. Basically they have a really nice rich yolk, which is gonna give us an incredible color on our final pasta dish. Flour goes onto the board. And what we wanna do with the bowl, we wanna pop it in the middle and create a bit of a well. And I'll tell you, when I was growing up watching YouTube and watching cooking videos, it would really annoy me when people would use a KitchenAid to make pasta dough, because I didn't have a KitchenAid, and I always wished that they'd show me how to make it from scratch. So this is how you make it with literally zero equipment. So next is
You grew up in the YouTube age. You couldn't have figured this out.
the eggs. So we've got 2 whole eggs and 4 egg yolks. Little splash of olive oil, and then we're going to start whisking. So we basically want to make like an egg and floury paste, but we just want to keep whisking and slowly bring in the corners of our well. I'll tell you, the reason we use 00 flour, which is a special flour which you can't unfortunately get from most supermarkets, but like a Waitrose or an M&S, you're golden. It's been very finely milled, so it's really nice and fine, and it also has a really strong gluten content. So we want a really nice chew with our final pasta, and when we knead it and put it through the machine and work it, we're developing the gluten, which is the protein found in flour, and that's going to strengthen it up and make sure we have a really nice chew. So you see how this is getting a bit thicker now? Just need to keep going, and I kind of like to use
Alright, skip a bit.
to strengthen the dough. So with kneading, you're basically picking it up and pushing it forward, and then you're turning it and repeating the same motion. So you up, push, turn, up, push, turn. Right, so this is what your pasta dough should be looking like once you've finished kneading it. It's gonna be really nice and smooth, but also it's gonna be quite tight. We stressed it out a little bit, so now it's time for it to relax. It needs to go into the fridge, chill out. It's been through a lot. It's been through 10 minutes of me smashing it to pieces. So it just needs to relax in the fridge for at least half an hour, but you can do it overnight if you want.
A few moments later.
Time to roll it out. I'm gonna show you how to roll it. So I like to use semolina when rolling pasta because it has a really nice texture and it's very dry and it stops things from sticking. So we just need to roll it out and help the machine out a bit, because as you can see, it's quite thick. So we just need to get it to a manageable stage before we pop it through the machine. So you've got to start it on its widest setting first, just to get it working through. We're going to go down a level to make it a little bit thinner. Pick it up and roll it through again. Once the pasta's gone through twice, we're going to fold it into thirds so we get a really nice, clean, rectangular shape. We're going to put it through the pasta machine again to stretch that gluten even further, because it's all about stretching that gluten, baby. So as you can see, it's grown quite substantially, but now it's time to shape.
Yeah, that's the thing. More people would have a KitchenAid mixer than a pasta machine.
It into our pappardelle. You stack your pasta sheets on top of one another. You just need to trim it up and then cut it into long, thick strips to form our pappardelle. Now all the hard work is out of the way. Now it's time for the fun bit. Everything comes together in one single pan. So we've got a lovely frying pan here. We're just going to add in a knob of butter and get these beautiful asparagus and frozen peas sauteing off in the pan with a little bit of salt and pepper. Then we're going to add in...
What the fuck is British people's obsession with goddamn peas?
Our beautiful lamb ragu and just get them knowing each other before adding in our cooked pasta. And we want to cook the pasta for about 90 seconds. You want to finish the cooking of the pasta in the pan before finishing it with some mascarpone, some beautiful pecorino cheese, touch of lemon, fresh herbs. Give it a toss.
Yes, I am employed, cutie. I just start work early.
Taste it up, season it up, serve it up, and that's your pasta done.
Okay, I don't know. This one isn't for me. Alright. Next. Stop buying salsa, make these instead.
Well-tested recipes for what I think are the 3 essential styles of salsa. Together, these recipes cover the full spectrum of salsa flavor, all the way from fresh and bright to dark and roasty. And each recipe highlights a different salsa making technique, so by the end of this video, you're gonna be a salsa making machine. First up is my take on Mexican restaurant salsa. My version is very fresh, saucy, light, and highly sessionable. To make this thing, I'm gonna grab...
Isn't that your username?
half of a white onion and give it a medium to small chop. I want to keep it pretty rustic here. This is definitely not a knife skills situation, but I do think it's really important to break down the larger stuff like the onion and the jalapeno, just because I want to have a medium coarse, kind of rustic texture to this salsa. And if you were to put the whole half and a whole jalapeno in, it would take a really long time to get those broken down. And they would kind of just bounce around on top of the blade. And in the process, you'd have this thing where you have huge chunks of white onion that are hot and raw and a bunch of pulpy over pureed stuff, and you wouldn't have that middle texture that's nice and coarse. Next, I'm gonna take one jalapeno, or about 50 grams worth, and then I'm gonna cut off the top, and then do my best to remove the sides while leaving behind the white ribby stuff. That's where the majority of the heat is located in a jalapeno like this. A lot of people say it's in the seeds, but it's actually mostly in the ribs. Also, if you aren't quite a chili head and you can't really handle high heat, you could go with a poblano pepper. As far as Scoville goes, that's somewhere around 2,000 units, where a jalapeno is somewhere between like 3 and 8,000. It's about twice as hot as a poblano. Or if you really want spice, you can go with a serrano, which is about twice as hot as a jalapeno, which is...
Or go for a habanero, Carolina Reaper.
Somewhere in between like 10 and 15,000 Scoville, or it can even go up to like 20,000. Serranos can get pretty freaking hot. Next, I've got 10 grams of garlic here, and I'm just gonna cut those cloves in half into the chopper. They go. Then 10 grams of fresh cilantro, 10 grams of fresh lime juice. That's about the juice of half of a lime, but it kind of depends on how juicy your limes are, so just keep an eye on that. Then I'm gonna add in 5 grams of white distilled vinegar, and I'm using this in addition to the lime juice to bring acidity to the salsa,
Dude, I think you got
just to
it
kind of
cut.
keep it balanced. If you were to use too much lime juice, you run the risk of that being the only thing that you taste in the salsa, and citrus acidity has a tendency to be a little bit harsh, and it can kind of pucker your tongue in an this. I like to spin the aromatics first just so that I can get them broken down to the perfect size before I add the tomatoes in, because once all this extra liquid is in there, the blades aren't gonna hit things in the same way, and you could end up either spinning it too coarsely or too much, and then you end up with like a pasty salsa. We want somewhere right in the middle. Next, I'm gonna add in 200 grams of tomato sauce, which is essentially just a smooth tomato puree with a little bit of onion and garlic powder in it. If you can't find tomato sauce, tomato puree is totally fine. Then 200 grams of diced fire roasted tomatoes. These are gonna bring a little bit of added tomato texture and a little bit of mild smokiness. Probably not like an insane amount, but it's better than a plain diced tomato. And then from here, I'm gonna pulse this for about 15 to 20 seconds until I think I've got the ideal texture. I'll give it a quick check. And that's looking really good. At this point, I want something that's got a little bit of coarseness to it. I don't want something that's overly spun. And for me, this looks texturally perfect. The thing that I'm going for here with this type of salsa is somewhere directly in between a cooked chunky salsa that you'd buy in a jar in the chip aisle, like a Tostitos or a Pace or something like that, and a fresh pico de gallo. You've got the chunkiness of the pico here, and then you've got that smooth cooked background from the tomato sauce. This is just kind of a best of both worlds because you get the freshness and vibrancy of the jalapenos and the onion, but then you get this smooth, chip gripping backbone from the cooked tomato and the tomato sauce. And if you don't have a food processor, I think you could probably figure out how to make this with just a knife and a cutting board. I would chop all of the aromatics down into a fine paste, throw those into a bowl, then chop the diced tomatoes down into a little bit of a paste, and then kind of fold everything together. It might
Just buy a goddamn food processor. Quit
be a
being
little bit more
cheap.
rustic, but it's probably gonna be pretty close to what I've made here. Now, the last step here is to just taste this for salt level. And that tastes perfect. I think the 5 grams that is in the recipe is the perfect amount. But if you like it a little bit more salty, you can always dial that up. Just be careful because when you increase the salt level, you're going to increase your perception of the acidity, so it might make the salsa feel a little bit too tart. Once this is all spun up, I'm gonna spoon it into a carafe next to a large bowl of thin, salty chips. This is an important detail. I think a lot of people don't really think about the chip pairing when it comes to their salsa, but there's a lot of different types of tortilla chips out there, and for a wet, kind of thin American Mexican cantina style salsa like this, I think a salty thin chip kind of just soaks it up the best. Some salsas do best with a thick, meaty, hearty chip, and we'll see some of those later in this video, but there's just something about the thinness of this chip.
All right, this is just boring the shit out of me. Let's see here. All right, let's see this. See if John Cena can slice things.
Cut something perfectly in half?
You got it.
Okay.
Come on. That does not look good for me. Oof.
Do you like cake?
I do. The ceremonial cutting of the cake. Oh, what's happened?
Look, you got it perfect.
Cake for everyone.
Can John Cena cut something perfectly in half?
All right, I haven't done him in a while, but this is Sam the Cooking Guy, and this is a bold claim. The steak sandwich that puts the cheesesteak to shame. Philly will be hunting for his blood.
If you like a deeply marinated steak, tons of beautiful crispy cheese, filling up a beautiful fresh torta, you're gonna love today.
All right, what the hell is that?
There you go, that's a torta right there. It's a,
Torta.
sorry, it's my Canadian accent, torta. It's a torta, eh? Did you spill something? What'd you spill?
All my crackers.
Wait, okay, what'd you spill?
all my crackers.
Oh, wait. Oh, out of what?
My cheese.
Oh my God, you eat like a 4-year-old. Your little balanced break Ritz cracker snack set. Come on, come on. Right, yep. There's your torta. You could do this on any kind of roll you had. What's important is the combination of things. Yes, if you got a big torta, you'll be fine, but if you had something else, here's what we're doing. We're marinating some steak, nice big bold flavors. Not a long marinating time because it's skirt steak, the big wide fibers. It takes the marinade very nicely. Short.
That's, to me, that's one of the more overrated cuts of steak.
Period of time. Then we're gonna grill the hell out of that. Super hot, not take very long. Chop it up, melt the whole shit ton of cheese on top of the flat top, and then some beans and the business, and then the whole thing goes into the torta. And this comes from Los Palomos in Riverside, California. They have a couple locations up that way. It's, up by LA, taco stand. And I keep hearing how great it is. And so now we'll recreate one that I saw on their Instagram because it looked fantastic. And if I show you how to do, you can make it. And then when you have it, you'll go, hey, this is pretty good. I gotta go to the real place. So if you're in California, you go to Los Palomos and you'll have it and you'll be super happy. That was a lot. God. All right, shall we? First up, marinating. Boom. We begin. Soy, don't get mad. It's a base for me when I'm making things like this. I really like it. So cut me some slack, will you?
Well,
and
it's a
again, you won't
marinade.
taste soy, you'll just taste delicious. Then a little neutral oil, some garlic, and then some dry stuff. Cumin, chipotle chili powder, smoked paprika, recipe below, oregano, black pepper, and a
Finally!
little hot honey for sweetness. This we will mix. And mix well.
Somebody
till you've
adds the
got honey in
goddamn
there.
pepper.
Oh, this is gonna stick beautifully, marinate really well. The sweet of the honey is gonna help add to the char of the whole thing. All right, skirt steak time. There you go. Skirt steak comes from the plate, which is the lower belly of the cow. It's just this beautiful, long, flat muscle with this wide grain. It takes the marinade really great. And look how thin it is, so you know.
Yeah, my favorite is ribeye. But if I'm using, if I'm going to make, quesadillas, I'll grab some top round steaks, marinate them up, and slice them up. I'm not the biggest fan of flank steak, skirt steak, whatever the hell you want to call it.
You're cooking this super hot and fast.
Followed by a porterhouse, followed by a New York strip, followed by T-bone, and everything else just kind of is... It's not good enough steak to be on its own. It's got to be with something.
Wasting any time. So in a bag we'll go, close up shop, get the air out, and do this. And separate the pieces. You want to make sure everybody gets a nice amount of this marinade on it. This guy you can fling into the fridge for a half an hour. We can prep some vegetables, etc. Etc., etc. Let's start with the little onion. And I don't need tons. I just want this rough chopped. Nothing fancy. Relatively small dice. Let's add some cilantro to that. And now some lettuce and tomato. This is a nice tomato. And a quick sauce. All this will be is some mayo and juice from pickled jalapenos. Pinch of salt. Voila. All right, give me a few minutes, let the steak finish marinating, and we cook. And we're ready to go. Remember what I said, hot and fast. That's hot. We cook this fast.
I know the chat's on. I'm looking at it. Jesus.
It's not gonna take long. I mean, really, a few minutes aside, if that. Look, you can see it's been on, what, 20 seconds? Little marks. Very happy. And you'd be happy too if you could smell what was hitting this grill and coming back up. Let's just go a little diagonal. Okay, so let's flip these kids, shall we? Oh, mother.
All right, let's see how
Sensational.
Larry gets this.
Keep it going.
Yo.
More turning. So now you see this is thicker and this is thinner. This guy's probably close to being ready. So I'm just gonna do that so it doesn't continue to cook. And I'll do that. There you go. Now we just concentrate on the fat bits and we'll be there.
That's why I prefer top round, because it's usually all one thickness, so it cooks pretty much uniformly even.
All right, we're there. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We've waited as long as I can. I'm not kidding. I've wanted some of this for 10 minutes now. That's as long as we waited. All right, let's cut it up. Now, I don't need to tell you, we always cut against the grain, correct? But you're not gonna make a giant swoop like that, and that would be dumb anyways. So what we'll do is we'll cut with the grain, like this, and look how pretty that is. Oh my God. Into pieces like this, and then we'll turn it, and now across the grain for the eating part, okay? Everybody good there? You understand that, right? And allow me to give Maxwell one of these. That's for you, and I'll have one. Boy, oh boy, great. So just get yourself enough for one torta.
So basically, he's making a fajita and calling it a sandwich.
And that should be about this much. But remember this skinny end? I'll show you cross section. The skinny end, see, it goes faster, but it's still relatively pink down here. Okay, let me clean this up. We're almost there. First up, our torta. We're just gonna get this a tiny bit crispy. Won't take long. Because the beef part includes cheese, and we're making a cheesy, crispy outside layer, and that will happen fast, and I don't wanna be bogged down worrying about this. Nice, nice. Ow, shit. Okay, that's where you're going. Off to the side, and here we go. So,
How many times does this dude burn himself on, like, by lifting up hot shit?
think about this as being like a cheese skirt. Below, right? Okay, we've got that. Now we can add some of our onion down the middle. Some of the cilantro. Give that a second. Los Palomos does add a layer of beans, so we'll put some of these guys in. And now our beef. And that will look like this. Holy God. This will be the torta to end all tortas. And by the way, those beans,
Yes, because you're going to have a heart attack after eating it.
I just heated up with a little oil and a little cumin. Here we go. Wow, that's gorgeous.
So essentially, you made a cheese burrito, and now you're going to
And
call
this
that a sandwich.
Let's build. All right, let's go. Like this. A little bit of our pickled jalapeno mayo on the bottom. Lettuce. Tomato, tomato, tomato here. And always salt and pepper your tomatoes. And now this kid, like this. Wow. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit more up top because I have to, because I'm a maniac. Not a lot, just look, thin, super thin layer, right? Super thin, super thin. Torta that, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we gotta do
Curious
this
to see if this is going to hold together when
and this.
that held
Oh,
together.
snap. That's
Or did
pretty.
all the cheese
That's
fall
cheesy, that's beefy, that's unctuous AF. And now it's bite time. And this I've been waiting for all day. It's the back, it's dripping. Look, it's dripping. Oh my God. The cheese skirt, oh shit.
Okay, and of course he's going to say it's the greatest thing since sliced fucking bread. Let's go to everybody's favorite, Arnie. He's making quesadillas. So is he making a 4-cheese quesadilla, or is he making 4 different quesadillas?
Mexicano, and I don't mean none of that Tex-Mex queso. That's another video down the road. Today we're talking about the more traditional Mexican cheeses. Y'all can see here I have queso fresco, Oaxaca, panela, and asadero. Each one of these cheeses is a little bit different. They all have their own flavor. They're all used for different purposes as well, and they're all super delicious. So in this video I'm going to show you 4 quick and easy recipes, one for each of these cheeses. Quick, easy, and
Okay, so it's 4 quesos.
delicious too. I've been wanting to do a video like this for a long time because we always enjoy all of these cheeses at our home, but we usually use Oaxaca a lot, and once in a while queso fresco. But there are other really great cheeses. So today I wanted to share those with you guys. And really, quite honestly, friend, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's this whole cheesy Mexican rabbit hole that you can crawl into. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to go a little deeper in that.
Hey, I love quesadillas.
Rabbit hole. With the queso fresco, we're gonna do a Mama Tex style, real simple little quesadilla. Just queso fresco, sliced up, toasted on the comal a little bit with a warm corn tortilla, and in we go. It's delicious, quick, and easy. Now with the Oaxaca, we're gonna have a little bit of fun and make some choriqueso. And that's gonna go into a different tortilla, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Now the panela, we're gonna pair with some beans and
Whatever that thing just was, I want.
a fresh, homemade corn tortilla. Now, for the asadero, we're gonna pair that with the thin-cut ribeyes in a flour tortilla. Come on now, this is Texas, right? Texas is flour and corn tortillas, but it's
Jesus, all these guys burn themselves. Fuck.
mostly flour.
I burn myself more than probably most people.
Let's be honest. All right, now, let's get this griddle fired up and make some delicious quesadillas. Vámonos! Friends, let's do quesadilla number 1. This is the Mama Tex quesadilla. That's what we call it because my mother loves to do this. She would put a couple of pieces of fresh queso fresco onto a hot comal, get a tortilla onto the hot comal too. We're gonna warm both.
Okay, now, the only thing different is I'm not the biggest fan of corn tortillas. They have their place. I like them for taquitos. But, nah, I'd probably use a flour one, but...
Them up first, really quick. We're gonna flip the cheese over. Woo, look at that, beautiful. Now there are levels to corn tortillas, friends. This one here, just a basic store-bought corn tortilla, the kind that you get in a bag. Now as far as queso fresco goes, this is just fresh cow's milk, unaged queso. Y'all saw me make this on the channel before, once with my mom. And today we're putting it in the quesadilla the way she likes to eat it, just like that. Now we're gonna get a couple more slices of queso on here because you guys know I like my tacos nice and chunky. Now queso fresco is one of the most popular quesos at restaurants and in most Mexican homes, Tex-Mex homes, Latino homes, because you can crumble it up or you can use it like this. But most of the time we're putting it as a garnish or as a condiment at the end, all crumbled up. Today, we're putting it in a quesadilla, just like so. We're gonna fold this over. Now, I bet y'all didn't see that coming because very, very rarely do you ever see anybody make a quesadilla with queso fresco. Usually it's queso Oaxaca, queso Chihuahua, some other kind of fast melting cheese. But friends, I promise you, this is a good one. I'm gonna leave it on this side a little bit longer. This is what you want. This right here, this little toasty part here, just pure deliciousness, man. You want that tortilla to have a little bit of those brown spots. It's just pure flavor right there. So let's go ahead and get this one out. And there you have it, friends. All right, we're gonna let this cool a little bit, and then we're gonna do my favorite part, the big old bite. But I'm also gonna put some salsa in there. Y'all know me, I gotta have a little bite in everything I eat. All right, amigos, I made 3 quesadillas with queso fresco and corn tortillas. So let's take a bite, see what kind of flavor profile we got here. Oh man, that's so good. You know, it's not a stringy cheese, it's not melty cheese. So you can see right there, you know, I bite right through it. That reminds me why my mother likes them so much. They're quick, they're easy, and they're delicious. Friends, it's on to
I'm gonna have to try that because that's a bold statement with just cheese.
quesadilla number 2, número 2. You can see we have a nice big pile of queso Oaxaca right here. And this queso right here is called quesillo. It's one of the most popular cheeses in Mexico. It's also called Chihuahua cheese or Oaxaca cheese. They're very much the same. And y'all can see how stringy it is. It's basically a string cheese, and it's super good too. Comes apart nice and easy. It has a nice, mild flavor. Not too salty, not too milky, just really good.
Name 3 successes in my life. Fucking your mom, fucking your grandma, and fucking your sister all at the same time.
First of all, we're gonna get our chorizo on. So here is some chorizo, store-bought. I didn't make it. And we're gonna smash this down right here just like that. Just like
I don't know why I found that so funny. Store-bought chorizo, okay? I didn't make it, no shit.
so. Look at that. Just wonderful, look at that. All right, I'm gonna turn down the heat. We're very hot here. All right, let's get some cheese on here. That's what we call choriqueso. I think that's gonna be about the right balance right there, más o menos. And what is choriqueso? It's just two ingredients. It's chorizo and queso. That's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. So we're melting this down, mixing it all together. Now in a restaurant, it usually comes out in a nice little plate. You know, they'll bring you a bunch of corn tortillas, a little guacamole on the side. And I've told this story before. When my kids were little, we used to go down into Mexico, into Progreso or Reynosa, and we would just tell them that it was a Mexican pizza. That way they would eat it. You know, kids, man, they've always been into pizza. I'm gonna turn this off. Now, I told y'all earlier, there are levels.
Dude, all I'd have to do is look at this and want to eat it. Assuming, again, that I'm gonna die the next day.
To tortillas. This one, as you can see, is a little bigger diameter than the first one I had. This one's closer to 6 inches, more or less. And this is made in a plant. You know, you can see the lines where they use a machine and it just kind of runs down the machine after it gets pressed. It gets cooked as you go. A little bit bigger in diameter, a little bit thin. This also has a really great corn flavor as well. And while that's warming up, let's kind of continue to mix up our cheese here. That's a nice balance right there. Now you can use more cheese or more chorizo. It's pretty much, you know, however you want to do it. I like a kind of a 50-50 blend if I'm making a quesadilla. If it's a big bowl, then I'm gonna have more cheese than chorizo, but for a quick quesadilla, 50-50 is perfect. I can see my tortilla is about ready. You can see it's trying to puff up there, so I'm gonna flip it over. Let's get some choriqueso on here. Ooh, yeah, baby. Look at that. All right, let's flip. Ooh, look at that. Queso costra, baby. Another
Oh, great. Now I'm getting hungry.
really quick, easy, and delicious snack or appetizer that you can put together. If you get home from work, you're tired, you don't have a lot of time.
Perfect for a fucking game day. Holy shit. That
Kids are
thing
hungry,
looks
screaming
delicious.
and yelling. Your husband wants a cold beer and something. Right here, baby. That's what you want to give that dude. He'll thank you later. All right, I'd say this taco's ready to go onto my plate here. Let's get it on. Right there, just like that. All right, let's sink our teeth into this choriqueso quesadilla. Man, that is so delicious. This is my familiar flavor with chorizo and queso in a quesadilla. This is what I grew up eating, what my kids grew up eating. It's fantastic. Y'all need to try it. Let me know in the comments below, have you made a choriqueso quesadilla yet? If you haven't, you need to. Then thank me in the comments later below. Now, this is probably my favorite all-time quesadilla, but I don't know, we got 2 more to go. Let's see. All right, next quesadilla. Refried beans with panela. Queso panela with beans in a quesadilla. I mean, we could just put the queso in the tortilla, but it's always better with a little bit of beans. And they're always better with a little bit of lard, but all I have right now is a little bit of olive oil. These beans are done.
Better with a little bit of lard, but all I got is olive oil. Okay, that's 2 different planets, dude.
All right, ooh, listen to that. Panela is very, very similar to queso fresco. You see how moist that is, kind of watery. It's not really a melting cheese. It's more of a cheese that most people do what we're doing with it right now. They like to sear it and give it a little char, and it brings out the flavor and dries the cheese up a little bit. And so we're gonna do the exact same thing. We're gonna sear it up just a little bit, then we're gonna get it into our quesadilla with some refried beans. And you see how I sliced the cheese a lot thicker than I did the other slices for the queso fresco. Generally, panela cheese is done like that. Thicker slices, it just has a whole lot of deliciousness. So the more you get, the better. Yeah, like I said earlier, you know, there's different levels of tortilla. We bought the store-bought one that came in a package. Then we bought the tortilleria tortilla, and this is a homemade tortilla, pressed and flippity-flipped by Arnie Tex. And it's time to make our queso panela and frijoles quesadilla. Just gonna take a little bit of beans here, mash them down right here inside this tortilla. Now we're gonna take one of these big old queso panelas right there, fold it right over. That's a lot of queso, right? And we do need to flip this one.
Lot of queso, yes.
It's hot. All right, mash the beans, get a little bit of panela on here. Ooh, it's hot. Look at that. Beautiful. Now this one here is what we call an obnoxious quesadilla. It's a lot of cheese, a little bit of beans in a small tortilla. Yeah, buddy. That's gonna be some yummy in the tumbly coming right up. These quesadillas are ready to go down the hatch. All right, I'm ready for a big old bite. Y'all stay with me. I'm gonna let them cool off a little bit. We're gonna take a big old bite. Friends, you can see we have 3 of these quesadillas with panela and beans and homemade corn tortillas. Now, I forgot to season the cheese. That's another thing that most people do. I should have probably thrown a little bit of wow or some boom or some OG on there, but I forgot to do it. It's still gonna be really good. But as you can see, it doesn't melt like queso Oaxaca, and
Yeah, the second one is my favorite.
it's not quite as dry.
All right.
As the queso fresco, I'm ready to take a bite of this one. That goes for another bite right now. Not later, right now.
Not drunk, Iron. Not yet.
Very good. Of course, y'all know me. One more time, I gotta get a little salsa going here. On these, I'm gonna use a little bit of red salsa. The queso is like fluffy.
That chorizo one is my absolute favorite.
It has a fluffy texture. It tastes really good. That little char on there makes it extra good. And then the beans, of course, you know, you can't go wrong with pinto beans. And you know way you can go wrong with those party pinto beans. That's what they are. All right, I'm gonna finish up this taco because then we gotta move on to the final one. All right, we're on our last quesadilla of the day. We're in Texas, baby. It's flour time. Vamos. And for this cheese here, I grated up some asadero style cheese. That's gonna go in the tortilla along with our ribeye cacheteada. Ooh, I love that. That's beautiful. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, let's move it over here. Let's get a little bit of queso on here. We gotta let this melt a little bit. And this cheese here, like Oaxaca, is an awesome option, great option as a melting cheese. You see, I could just fold it right here, quesadilla done, but nah, where's the fun in that? Let's get our cachetada on here. I'm gonna reheat it just a little bit. Yeah, we cook these little ribeyes hot and fast. They're very thin. We throw them on the plancha here and got them really, really hot. I'm getting it hot again so it can help me melt down that cheese. All right, so I would say we's ready, baby. Look at that. Woo-wee. Fold our quesadilla over, nice and hot. Now you want a little bit of brown toasty here, just a little bit of char.
Now, normally I cut up steak for quesadillas, but if it's a ribeye, it should be tender enough.
Or not too much. You want to give it a little bit of roasty toasty, gives it that little extra flavor pop. All right, I think our quesadilla is ready for the big bite. I'm gonna put it right here in the middle. It's not so hot. We're gonna let that cool down for a couple of minutes, then we're going down. Got my heat turned off. I made a couple more quesadillas for the team here. It's time for me to take a bite of my big old quesadilla. Oh yeah, man, I gotta tell you guys, all these quesadillas are amazing. They're wonderful. But it's hard to beat a piece of ribeye. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't care what you pair it with. Right now, we paired it with the queso asadero, which is a very flavorful melting cheese. We absolutely love it. And look at that. A couple bites in, we are good to go.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, unlike you, Carlton, my nephews have jobs. We don't have time to play video games. We work.
One more thing I like here, as y'all know, I'm gonna do the salsa. Yeah, that's good. I like it.
All right. You're getting stupid.
That will make me done. All 4 of these quesadillas were delicious.
Okay, if I don't have a job, where do I get the money to pay for my beer? Or the food? Or anything? Or the internet?
Let me just share with you guys how they stack up from first to fourth. Started with number 4.
Yeah, I was. After work.
Yeah, that one. it was good. Number 3 was good. Number 2 was good. Hell, they were all good. But number
So if I'm just hanging out all day at home, I have no job, why don't I stream for like 10 hours a day like your Lord and Master Jake?
number 1 was definitely the cacheteada. I mean, it's just hard to beat a ribeye or any piece of meat in a flour tortilla, especially if you have some delicious cheese in there. In this case, it was asadero. It was wonderful. And then the choriqueso. I mean, come on, guys.
And then you guys have sworn I work for like 3 different companies. Whatever, it's the whatever insult of the week. I forget, you guys are leftists, so common sense and logic and all that bullshit is, you know, out your fucking mind.
Is how can you possibly go wrong with choriqueso? It's probably the number 1 appetizer at most Mexican restaurants.
Yeah, I have time, but to get everyone together to play video games, that's a little bit tricky.
And then, of course, beans. I love beans, and I love cheese, and I love homemade tortillas. That was super, super good. The queso fresco, our first quesadilla, was really, really good. It's super quick, easy, and it's clean, too. You know, you just toast it a little bit, put it in a tortilla, and man, it's a quick and easy snack. All right, friends, don't forget my cookbook.
All right, that's enough of that. The second one was absolutely delicious. I might have to steal it. Ugh, Jesus. Jesus. Okay, let's take a look at this. This is from Wings and Things, or All Wings Everything.
Alright guys, you seen that title in the thumbnail, so you already know we got sliders on the menu today. One of my favorite type of appetizers. They go with any type of get together, especially when it's around sports time. I'm gonna show you guys how to make these steak and
Oh, I love sliders.
cheese sliders. Y'all ready? Get in your kitchen, let's go. Alright, so let's quickly go over these ingredients real quick. Of course, these ingredients can always be found on my website, ijustcookalot.com or allwingseverything.com. Right here we have our
Yeah, I'm gonna be laughing so hard on election night. You guys have lost the Bill Maher vote and the Van Jones vote, so.
rolls. We have some provolone cheese here, mayo, onions, black pepper. We have some thinly sliced sirloin steak here. Now, you can use any steak of your preference. It's totally up to you. I like the sirloin for this right here because it has a lot of flavor and it's tender. We have salt right here, dry parsley, lemon juice, more salt here, freshly chopped garlic, Dijon mustard, melted butter, garlic
You know, if you're gonna point to all your ingredients, could you turn the camera around?
powder, more
And again, I'm not the best at camera work.
black pepper, and we have our olive oil right there. So that's all you need. Let's get into
You don't know who Bill Maher is. Van Jones, I can understand if you don't watch CNN. He's the black guy that cries on there all the time. But Bill Maher, really, you're just playing stupid now.
it. So to get started, we're gonna prepare our garlic aioli. All you're gonna do is you're gonna take your mayo, you're gonna take an empty dish, you're gonna add it right here like this.
All right, I'm probably the last person that should correct another person's pronunciation of anything. But it's aioli, not aioli.
Add your Dijon mustard, lemon juice, black pepper, our salt, and our minced garlic. And all we're gonna do now is we're gonna give this a good mix, just like this.
That works.
And you just wanna mix this until it's well combined, just like that. And guys, you always wanna adjust your seasoning as you see fit. Gonna test this baby out just to make sure.
Oh, thank God he did one thing that's fantastic. Yeah, taste.
I don't need any more salt or pepper. Oh man, I think we're good on that. All right, so now all we're gonna do is cover that put it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. And while that's chilling in the refrigerator, we're gonna start preparing our steak. So next we're gonna prepare our steak. We're just gonna take some salt, add it to our steak like this. Take a little bit of pepper, add that as well. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more salt. Y'all know I like my food well seasoned. And we're just gonna get this baby mixed up like this.
This is a nitpick. One, I think you're going a little heavy on the salt. Two, kosher salt is better than this table salt. But again, that's a nitpick.
I probably think I'm gonna add a little bit more pepper as well. I don't know, it's something about that salt.
God, what's your address? I'll buy you a pepper grinder. It'll improve your life.
And that pepper on some steak, man, it's just, man, like you can't go wrong with just that simple seasoning. All right. And guys, here's what I want to show you. How thinly sliced that steak is.
Okay, this is gonna be interesting.
All right, so now we're gonna turn on our cooktop. We're gonna heat up our olive oil. And once that comes up to temperature, we're gonna go in with our onions. And we're gonna saute these for about 5 minutes. All right, so it looks like we're good right now. We're gonna start removing our onions.
Okay.
And we're just gonna sit this right here. Now we're gonna go in with our steak.
Bro, you might want to disconnect the smoke detector.
All right, so it looks like we're good over here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn our heat off. And we're just going to let our steak rest here in this pan right here.
Did he mention the cut of steak? Did I miss it? Because the only way that steak is not going to be tougher than fucking shoe leather is if it's a ribeye. That's about the only one. Like I said, I could have missed the cut.
While we head over.
If it's ribeye, it should be okay. If it's filet mignon, that's getting risky.
Here, back to our cutting board. So now we're gonna make our butter sauce real quick. We're gonna take our melted butter. We're gonna add it here. Along with our parsley. And our garlic powder. And we're just gonna get at a mix like this and get it all mixed up. And we just use this for brushing. Man, that looks good right there. We're gonna sit this aside right here. All right, so now we're gonna start building out these sliders. I've already cut my buns in half. We're gonna take the top part. We're just gonna sit it right there. Let's turn it this way. We're gonna take the bottom part, add it right here, like that. So now we're gonna take this delicious steak. I did try a little piece of it, and we're going to spread it over the bottom part of our buns. And we're gonna start just adding this to the bottom part. Yeah, I like mine steaky-y. So I'm using like a pound, maybe 1.5 pounds of steak, sirloin steak.
Oh, that's the one I didn't want to hear. Sirloin steak is pretty fucking lean.
For mine. And you just want to make sure that it's evenly distributed so every bite can have some steak in it. So next we're going to take our onions and we're just going to add those babies over the top like this evenly. All right. We're gonna take our provolone cheese.
Okay.
We're gonna add that to the top
Why
just
do you
like
put that
this.
in a bowl? Ah, whatever.
Now we're gonna take the top half of our buns.
And you're gonna pop it in the oven or the broiler.
Gonna sit it right there.
Oh man, with sirloin, he's running a big fucking risk. Sirloin, it's my brother-in-law's favorite cut. Man.
Now, if you want to, you could take.
I'm sorry, it's one of the more I know some people swear by that fucking cut, but I suppose if you, it can be good if you marinate it, but it requires a lot of babying, and I just rather pay for the New York strip or a ribeye or the premium cuts.
Some of that garlic aioli sauce, and you could brush it over the top of your cheese before you add your top part of your bun. You could definitely do that, but what I typically do is I use that garlic aioli sauce for dipping. So now we're gonna take our melted butter here. We're gonna take that, and we're just gonna brush it across our buns like this.
Well, unlike you, I'm not pretentious, DJ78. I'm just not broke.
So now it's time.
Or maybe that's my job. Maybe I'm outside in the back of grocery stores giving butchers blowjobs for meat.
To get these babies in the oven, I've already preheated to 350 degrees. We're going to stick it in there for 10 to 12 minutes. Allow that cheese to melt and those flavors to come together. All right, let's get this in the oven. All right, guys, so we are back after about 12 minutes. Take a look at our sliders, and man, let me show you something right here. We're gonna add some more of that good butter on top. So we'll get these babies armor all down on the top. You know, we have to throw that armor all on there to make it shine. Oh, man. That's what I'm talking about right there, baby. All right, so it's time to cut into these babies, man, to see what they are about. Ooh. Guys, ooh, man. We're gonna go ahead and jump in quality control right now. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's probably still pretty good, but that steak, he's chewing it a little bit too much.
And guys, we gotta get that garlic aioli sauce. It's sitting over here. I had it warmed up. Oh man, we're gonna go ahead and dip that baby in there like that.
Hello, Linda.
Ooh.
Whatever the rest of your name is.
Oh man. That's what I'm talking about. 10 out of 10, guys. You want to put this on your list of AWE recipes to do. So, guys.
I might have done it a little differently. Well, I don't know if I would have. Yeah, whatever. Fuck it. All right, let's do the Michael Simon. This is his latest episode. Spicy sausage, vodka, whatever, with his wife and their shared hooker.
Hey everybody, welcome to Simply Simons. I am Michael Simon, my beautiful bride Liz, and of course we have Olivia here also. Olivia Anacone Simon Sissek.
That's right. Why? We should add a couple more names. I don't think we have
just
enough.
get it all in there.
Yeah.
So we love being outside, we cook a lot outside, we entertain a lot outside, and Simply Simons is all about...
Well, you live in California, so I'd cook outside every night too. I live in Minnesota. And I cook outside a lot too, even in the winter, but there's a limit.
Showing you how to make dishes. You can make them in or out. We'll do some inside too, but they come together relatively quickly to make entertaining fun.
Yeah.
And delicious.
Well, when it's nice outside, I think everybody really wants to be outside.
By the way, how the hell are you gonna make goddamn vodka a pasta dish on Oh, whatever.
Anyways, who wants to be in the house?
Yeah.
You know, especially when you're living like east or anywhere that
Right.
it snows.
Well, yeah,
which is-
we're in Venice in California, and we're
Right.
happy to be outside. So we're in our front yard.
That's about the only positive of being in California. The weather's nice. Outside of that, everything else sucks in that state.
All kinds of fun noise going on. Kids playing across the street. We got planes,
Airplanes.
trains, automobiles, sometimes landscaping, sometimes Norman is whining. We got it all. So this dish is like, you know how I love Sunday suppers. And I grew up with Sunday sauce. And Sunday sauce is like a long procedure of like cooking the sauce. So I wanted to show like a quick meat sauce. Like you basically need no knife and it comes together really fast. So I'm gonna do a spicy Italian sausage, meat sauce / vodka sauce. See,
There
I
it
told
is.
you, planes everywhere. We got it all. So I'm gonna cook the sausage, then add tomato paste, get the consistency right with pasta water, a little cream, some vodka, Parmesan cheese, and some butter, and it comes together like that.
Yeah, and I don't think people think of making a pasta dish on the grill. You know, you
Yeah. That's one of the few things I haven't done. I've made pizza on the grill. I've made sandwiches on the grill. No, I've never done pasta, I don't think.
think like,
Right.
oh, we're doing burgers, ribs, chicken, you know, but you can, anything you do inside, you really can do outside.
Oh, thank you, Nick.
Look at that, butter.
Nick does it all too.
Farm.
We got a little.
Oh, no, wait, I take that back. I did do pasta outside. When I had it broke. When I had a outside, outdoor burner.
Parmigiano Reggiano and some butter to finish. And just set that back here. And then a microplane and I'll be great. There you go. Boom.
God, he does it all.
Who the fuck are all those people?
All.
You know, Tim and I, who's culinary director for all my stuff, we've been friends since we were 8 years old, but sometimes he just does this to mess with me a bit. He's like, I'm gonna hold the microplane. I know what he's doing. We've been friends for so long, sometimes he just holds the microplane.
He loves a microplane. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
I hold one all the time.
This and what are we drinking?
Is that a dick joke or?
We are drinking Lambrusco.
Oh, so you're not gonna make a cocktail, but we're gonna consume one.
Correct. I thought Lambrusco would be
I
lovely
love
with this,
Lambrusco.
and why should I have to do all the work?
That's exactly right.
So I have my grill set up, heat on one side, no heat on the other. We're just using it like a stovetop right now.
Yep.
So I put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. I'm gonna take some spicy Italian sausage. Now, one of the fun things about this is spicy Italian sausage already for flavoring, and it has some chilies, it has onion, it has garlic. So I don't need to chop all that stuff up. I'm just gonna brown the meat. It's almost like a cheater sauce. It's a little bit of a cheater sauce, but it comes together quick,
Yeah.
right, Norm? You like?
Wait, why didn't you guys tell me that you were wearing stripes today?
Oh, I don't know,
Really
Liv, I'm
awkward.
sorry. Yeah.
This is Michael's hacky sack shirt.
So wait, I came out this earlier, and Sal and the camera were like, "Oh, I like that." I'm like, "Oh, I got a hacky sack match later," and it's because you always make fun of me every time I put it on.
It does look like you carry a hacky sack around.
Or like
Well,
a
you know,
yo-yo.
Let me tell you, back in the day,
Awkward.
Tim and I.
Oh, I know,
were
you
pretty good
were
at the hacky sack.
deadheads and that
Little-
wearing person.
A little wake and enjoy and hacky sack in the front yard never hurt anybody.
Great, so you were filthy hippies.
All right, so sausage is gonna go in with the olive oil. I'm gonna give it a little press down because I want it to start browning up. Like, this is like almost like you're making, like, think bolognese, like where you want that color on the meat before you start adding your other things. So I'm gonna kind of brown one side, and then Liz, you can start picking basil.
Okay. You just want like whole leaves, basically?
Yeah, all
or
whole
just,
leaves. All whole
You don't
leaves.
want a ton of stem? Is that?
No stem, just leaves. And I'm
I
gonna
know
put
you
in
prefer
bits of
fresh,
salt.
but if I forgot fresh and only had dry basil, pick a different dish. Go to the grocery store.
You know, you and your, just stop.
You know,
It's
you
time.
could plant some basil.
Yeah,
And then you
you
always
live in
have it.
California. Like, it would grow in your yard like
You know what?
sneeze the seeds into the
I'm
ground.
really just showing my laziness
They
right now.
also sell, I know at Whole Foods, they probably a lot of grocery stores now. They sell it like it's in the dirt.
In the dirt.
You
so
know?
literally all I need to do is buy it. Okay,
Throw it in your
guys.
windowsill and use it when you need it.
Fine.
I mean,
It's so.
DoorDash it. I don't know.
Why do you think dry saves you so much time?
Because I don't have to take care of it. It's just sitting.
Well, it does save you time. It's just remember whatever it calls for. Okay, fresh herbs are way more forgiving than dry herbs. Dry herbs are 2 to 3 times more powerful than their fresh counterparts. It's just the forgiveness thing.
In my
But me, I love basil, so I don't give a shit. I'll eat basil leaves raw.
Well, I don't need another thing to take care of. My husband, my child, my dog.
It's just not the same.
Fine.
You know,
I don't
it's
think
not.
you could put basil, Gigi, maybe Daniel. You can't put basil and Gigi in the same category.
I mean, I will say,
Okay.
You know, it's
I
really
will-
hard to
you
take care of
could-
Gigi and basil.
I mean, dried oregano is a spice that I feel that is one of those dried spices that chefs
On the
and
stem.
people
See?
use a lot.
Okay.
So I mean, if you like, I don't like
have
oregano.
to.
I don't. I like a little bit of fresh. I'm one of those people. I don't know.
Okay.
I like everything. I don't love oregano.
Fine.
All right, Lizzie, look at this. Liv, you could too. But look, see how we got this great color on here?
Nice of you.
See the color when I'm flipping it?
Yeah.
That's what
Do you see? Do you see?
that's what you want. So I'm gonna get some color on the other side also, and then I'm just gonna start busting this up as I add the tomato paste.
Is it the same with sausage where like you put it in there and you kind of like let it cook and you're not constantly moving it around?
Correct. I'm not, and I'm just letting, like almost like when I cook a hamburger or anything like that, you're letting it caramelize. You don't want to. People, the biggest mistake people make is one, they don't get their pans hot. Not the biggest, a mistake people make. They don't get their pan hot before they start cooking. So the pan gets hot, then I add the fat. The fat gets hot, then I add the protein. And then once the protein gets in, you don't need to go crazy. Like, let the pan and the heat and everything do its work. And when it's brown, it's gonna naturally release itself. You don't need it, this isn't a
And
non-stick
especially for a Sunday sauce, because all that shit's going to break down anyway.
pan. It's gonna naturally release itself. And then you
Cast
move
enamel
forward.
are the greatest pans on the planet.
They are. And they're bulletproof, you know.
You literally put water in them when you're done cooking, and if there's anything stuck, it's gone. Like this pan is probably, and we use this on the grill a lot.
Yeah.
This is at least 15 years old.
Well,
I've
and
had
two,
this
like,
pan.
and you clean it, like, one of the tricks is, like, I use cast enamel on the grill a lot. This is a white pan.
Are you going to talk about cleaning a pan right now?
No, I'm going to talk about how you do it.
Okay, I was going to say.
Well, what do you use that, what's that brand?
I use Barkeepers.
Barkeepers.
And it just,
On the
Taught me
out,
that.
yeah.
On the outside.
I mean, if there is anything like from the grill, like that'll take it right away. So.
My biggest issue with cooking indoors on my stove is like, I don't know if I'm letting it get too hot, but I turn off like my fire alarm all the time with how smoky it gets. Like, how do you avoid that?
you have a hood?
Yeah, but I sometimes forget to turn it on.
That's
Well,
the problem. It's
yeah.
not the hot pan. It's
Yeah.
the hoods now.
Yeah, you got just turn your hood on.
Okay, great.
Well, she'll get a spanking for that later.
Perfect.
Or, I don't know, open a window,
Smoky.
open the doors. I mean, usually when your
Yeah.
house starts filling up with smoke, you think,
I do
Let me
open the
turn the
doors.
hood
I
on.
do. I forget about the hood. I know. Okay, fine. I should be preventative here.
All right, so the sausage is,
What the hell are you talking about? I can't hardly. I've only had 2 beers. Jesus fucking Christ.
almost brown. I have some tomato paste here. And I know a lot of people, when they think of meat sauces and things like that, they think whole peeled tomatoes and all that stuff. The tomato paste is already intense. It has great natural sweetness to it. So the key is when you put it in, you let it cook a while to get like a nice rusty color. And it's a tremendous cheat and base for the sauce. All right, so we're gonna take about 2 tablespoons heaping of tomato paste. I'm just gonna go with the whole.
yeah.
This is a small can of tomato paste. And I'm just gonna start moving it around. So I'm gonna move the meat over a bit and get the paste so I get some direct on the pan, you know, situation. And then just let that get rusty.
I think tomato paste also adds a really nice tartness, like a, it's concentrated and intense, but it adds that really nice tart tomato flavor.
And as that's happening, I have water boiling here. Ooh. I'm going to salt the water. Now, myself included, I've said this for a long time, make it
For the love of God, salt your fucking pasta water.
taste like the sea. I was cooking with Scotty Conan the other day, and he said, make it taste like a broth, like a chicken broth or a beef broth, which I think is much better advice. So I'm gonna salt. It's still like 2 significant pinches. And then just make sure.
I don't know if I would recommend that move.
You could use a spoon. I have like very.
Stick your finger in a pan of boiling water.
So it should taste like a bouillon.
Okay, I need you to tell the people, do you put olive oil in the water with your pasta?
Never, ever, 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 and.
All right, I'm gonna disagree. You can. It's your fucking olive oil. You paid for it. But it is a complete and utter fucking waste of oil.
Anybody that thinks you do's a bad cook.
Agreed. Thank you.
Because when you pull it out.
Maybe they just learned a
No,
different
because I have
way,
people
and they
argue
need to
with me
stop
about
doing
it. I have people argue with me. No, that's
Well,
it's,
you
Well, it doesn't help that you have master chefs like Marco Pierre White adding a half a goddamn gallon of olive oil to his fucking pasta water.
Need that pasta water starchy.
And then also if it picks up the oil when you're pulling it out of the water, the rest of the other sauce doesn't adhere to it, which is the whole purpose of it.
Right.
You know? So, all right, I'm gonna.
I mean, even I used to put oil in the water back in the day. Up until I watched an Italian chef, Antonio Carluccio, tell me that I was a fucking moron for doing that. And it made sense.
Start moving this around with my meat now. And this is just a good trick. So you can see how it's getting a darker in color. And then to break up the meat,
I play the video, but it's on Jamie Oliver's shit, and they're real copyright cunts.
I always use a potato masher. You
I
can
don't
keep
think we
busting
have
it up.
that. Oh,
we do.
we do
Look
have
at that.
this one.
So old school potato masher, because now it just breaks it up real easy. So you don't have to sit there and chop, chop, chop with your spoon.
Yeah, this does a much better job.
Just easier. You know, whenever you could save some time, save some time.
Sign me up to save time.
Yeah, see, Liv? I mean, all that basil you've been taking care of, but you save time with this. Life is so good.
Okay, do you ever sneak like more veggies in a sauce like this? Because Gigi like really is anti-veggies at the moment, so I'm trying to think of creative ways to get them.
Well, like if this was a bolognese, if we were making bolognese, we would do onions, carrots, celery, fine diced, cook them down with the meat, and go from there. This is kind of a lazy man's
Mike, your boil is dead.
version.
I don't know, though, if you're cooking vegetables to that point, if there's like a ton of nutritional value left for a child.
Well,
I think you can sneak like peas in something like this. You
Or
know, to make it-
mushrooms.
Just give him a fucking Flintstones vitamin and call it a day.
Diced mushrooms.
Mushrooms can be funny for kids.
But if they're
sometimes.
diced, they just would go away. You wouldn't even know they were there with the
Maybe.
meat.
You say that.
Yeah.
These kids
No.
are smart.
But I think if it's not the color.
Then just slap them until they eat them.
I think they get colored weird.
I don't know.
I don't know.
What do you
We've
know?
been pretty lucky with that. Emmy was always a good eater. Butchie's picky, though.
Butchie's picky.
Butchie's
but
picky. All right, so now this rigs are cooking. A good way to think about pasta when you're cooking it
That ain't a
is look at
fucking boil. What the fuck?
the box. If the box says, this box probably said 12 to 14 minutes.
These take a lot longer. This price
72
15.
hours.
Yeah.
So about 2 to 5 minutes before it's done, I pull it out and finish cooking it in the sauce. So then it absorbs the sauce
Thank you. I usually pull it out a minute beforehand.
as it cooks. So, but as this is happening with the sauce, I'm going to pool. This is why we need to make sure our pasta water
Did you bother to check the lamb ragu one?
seasoned properly. I'm going to pool this, and I'm going to add some of the, like 2 big ladles of pasta.
I'm not saying malnourished, you dumb son of a bitch. I'm simply saying if they're picky eaters and you don't want to fight the battle of dinner, just give them multivitamins.
Water to the sauce, and now the tomato paste and the meat are all gonna start like coming together in one happy place. I'll cheat this a little bit off the heat so we're at a simmer, not a boil.
And that rigatoni, you know, there's a lot of starch in that particular pasta too.
Yeah,
So
this is
that's a great way to
for
get
the
started.
pasta we used for this was Frankie's.
Yeah,
which is
the
a
best.
great
I love
brand.
it.
Like it's a little bit more expensive than some of the other brand. A couple chefs out of New York, they have great pasta.
Because if you've ever been around children, you can make the best quesadilla in the world, and the fact that it's a quesadilla means they won't eat it.
Great olive oil, and then for the tomato product.
My niece is the one child on this planet that doesn't like pizza. I didn't think it was possible.
We like Pizzeria Bianco a lot. Chris's stuff for the tomato product. But when you're doing simple food like this, you need to use really good product.
Yeah.
You know, it needs to be more spicy. Liv, don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt you, but it's gonna, we're gonna add some heavy cream to this too. So it's gonna absorb it. It's heavy cream. Mess it. All right.
Heavy cream is heavy.
So we put the cream in.
So you're kind of doing
love heavy cream in my
Well, bolognese, you
pasta
put
sauce.
milk. I'm doing like a
Right.
vodka sauce, and I have a shot of vodka here, which allegedly, you know, pulls some of the sweetness from the tomato. And
For me, I don't add the vodka at this point. I add it when I deglaze. That's just me, though.
throw back the acidity. I don't know. I just like throwing it in the same bucket.
And unlike wine, don't cheap out on the vodka. Vodka should taste like nothing.
Vodka sauce. I like
That's why I generally recommend don't drink vodka straight.
big rigs with vodka sauce. So that's kind of moving along. What do you guys want to talk about wine? Let's talk about
Yeah. You know what? I need an ice bucket for this.
You need an ice bucket?
Yeah. Do you have, it feels like it's been chilled, but
I was going to say, is
I like it.
Lambrusco supposed to be cold?
Yes.
Oh.
So Lizzie, talk about Lambrusco a little bit, because I don't think a lot of people understand it.
Well, it's just an Italian sparkling red wine, yes. And it is very fruity. It's bubbly. It's refreshing. It's not like a super dry wine, but I would say it's more fruit forward than it is sweet. It's got some good acid, kind of like a bright sort of a cherry. Oh, I was gonna, that's it. That's why I didn't have an ice bucket, because we went through all our ice.
Wait.
That's all right. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this, because you can do whatever you want when you're in your yard. I'm just going to.
Yes, make it trashy.
You know, and I love these little Italian table wine
Me too.
Why does that make it trashy?
glasses.
Do you
And it's, see how sort of very effervescent, very fuchsia bubbles, kind of a purple color.
I mean, I can't remember the fucking guy's name. Something Savage. And he kept adding ice to his fucking Moscato.
As you know,
Saying, oh, this is so sweet. It's like, well, yeah, it's fucking Moscato, you...
Liz, I
know you love Lambrusco.
And like, I feel like for so long it was like people just thought of it as such a trashy wine, like Riunite Lambrusco or whatever.
Hey, listen.
Trust me, it's trashy.
And when I was in high school, this was like, you know,
The good
grocery
stuff?
store.
Oh.
No, not good stuff.
Wait. When I was in high school, what was the
Wine coolers.
Wine coolers. That was the thing. Lambrusco.
Yeah.
Well, when you were in high school, what was
Oh, God, fucking wine coolers.
I was just going to say, you know,
I can have... Do they even sell wine coolers anymore? I haven't looked for them in a goddamn age. But on a very hot summer day, I wouldn't mind a wine cooler. But after that, I would never get drunk on them. Oh my God, I don't know what I'd puke from first. I do know. I'd puke from all the sugar long before the alcohol.
you know what,
I mean, none of us drank in high school, but if we did.
this is, okay, in high school, it was Mike's Hard Lemonade, but in college, we did wine bags. Wine bags, and you would slap it and chug it.
What?
What is wrong with you? Are you retarded?
I don't even know what a wine bag is.
You don't need to.
The wine bag is the, yeah, I don't know what that is either. I was going to say the bag that comes in that great big fucking box that you see those fat Karens walking out of. Or with. But yeah, if you drink 5 liters of wine, you're dead. So, yeah, apparently they decided to put wine in Ziploc bags and drink them out of that for reasons.
You want something, Brusco? Come on, shorty.
She is.
Yeah, this one isn't quite. See, it's not like super effervescent-y.
No, but it's got a little.
Oh, so they do make wine coolers. Sorry, I don't drink girly shit.
These also make terrific sangrias. You know, like if you put a lot of fruit in with a Lambrusco.
Yeah, I could see that.
Good.
But I just thought this would be nice with this to cut through the cream and the pasta. You know, it's still kind of a light, great for summertime because they're chilled.
Early on, when Liz and I were doing the Chew and moved to New York, and we lived in Soho, and Michael White had a restaurant next door to us.
The only thing I've never actually tried, and I know they brought it back, but they discontinued it before I could legally buy alcohol, and then when they brought it back, I just completely ignored it. I never actually had a Zima.
Yeah.
And I wish they'd bring it back. I'd like to, before I die, try a Zima.
No, that's Nancy Silverton's. Ostria something out there. But he had and this is what really started getting into him even more and more. He had like 50 Lambruscos.
A ton. Great Lambruscos. And, you know, it was, you know, we would go there probably at least once a week.
Once a week at a pasta
Great
Lambrusco.
pasta.
So great.
Great Lambrusco.
God, I can't think of the name
Well,
of it.
believe it or not, you know, as much as I like sparkly water, I don't like hard seltzers. I don't know, they just taste weird.
It was delicious, though.
Do you always do a red wine with a red meat?
No.
Because, like, I know some people are very particular about that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I tend to go red more with meat, but you can do whatever you...
Depends on the dish. Red is more for steak, chicken, fish, that's white. Unless it's a salmon, which is a little more red. And pork is whatever the fuck you want.
You want.
Yeah.
Turkey is bourbon because you have to have your annoying fucking family over.
I think Lambrusco's delicious with even
shrimp
or salmon.
Salmon.
Like, you know, wild salmon. And
Yeah,
it's
it's not tanniny, you know, so it would never get hot. Like this would be great with spicy
Well, last time I checked, alcohol is a drug.
food.
Yeah.
With like any sort of like Indian food, Chinese food, like it would be great because you want something that's a little bit lower in alcohol and does not have tannins because that will just make anything that's spicy, your wine just tastes hot. Like burnt.
Oh, well, that's a great way. Say that again. That's a great tip.
You just want something more fruit forward that doesn't have a lot of tannins because if you mix it with a spicy food, Indian food, Thai food, like all that kind of stuff, that's why at a lot of restaurants like that, they have Gewürztraminers and
Sweeter
things,
wines. Yeah, sweet wines.
Rieslings, dry Rieslings. So you want a fruit forward wine, otherwise it just tastes like alcohol, like hot alcohol.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right, so we got...
Do they live near an airport? How many fucking planes do they have?
The pasta's almost there. The sauce is almost there. I'm going to let you, Lizzie, taste the sauce real quick. Tell me how you feel on seasoning here. Remember, I'm going to finish it with butter and Parmesan and extra virgin olive oil.
I know, it's not done yet.
I know.
Ooh. That's good. That's going to be spicy for Liv.
Well, but it's still got butter coming.
Okay.
Liv's got she's a grown-up now.
I know.
It's time.
The
Basil.
sausage in there is delicious. I like that better than if you just use beef because I like the sausagey flavor.
Yeah,
If you
it's got some
didn't want it
fennel.
as spicy, would you just
That
say
pasta
less
looks
red
done to
pepper
me.
flakes?
You could use sweet Italian sausage
Okay.
or omit red pepper.
I'll
Use
make the
sweet
red
Italian.
pepper flakes. Yeah.
Because
Because he put a lot of red pepper flakes.
Yeah, no, you need red pepper flakes to wake that son of a bitch up.
Saw that. That was a
But
very
Liv
hefty handful.
also prefers sweet to spicy.
This is one of the tools that I didn't know existed until I met you, and it is so smart for when you're cooking pasta.
It's a must-have tool.
Yeah.
Now watch. So would you agree the pasta's about 2 minutes away, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna take the pasta. We're gonna put the pasta in the sauce. The whole, whoever started this whole, you put the sauce over the pasta, it's lazy. Don't be lazy. So
No, it's got to be mixed in.
you need to mix them. So you
Look
get
at that rigatoni, though. That is the most beautiful rigatoni.
big
I love
rigs.
It. I mean, it's so, like, it's kind of a thick noodle, you know, so it's just like dumpling-like.
Yeah,
it's
look.
so good.
But I don't really get it. Like, if you're adding pasta to the sauce or sauce to the pasta, how is that not the same thing?
Because you don't, they're over the top and not everything gets incorporated.
It mixed.
The pasta doesn't absorb the sauce and it's really irritating.
So what happens, Liv? I'm gonna explain. So you cook this beautiful pasta. You make this beautiful sauce. You pull the pasta out before it's done, and you add, oh, hey, say hello to my little friend. You add your slightly undercooked noodles to your sauce. And
yeah, and then I finished cooking in the sauce, adds starch to the sauce.
now you start stirring that sauce in with those noodles, and the noodles continue to finish cooking, releasing more starch to thicken your sauce and absorbing the sauce.
Okay.
So if you're gonna do the work to just put the noodles on the plate and the sauce on top, you literally have lowered the taste flavor of the pasta by 25%.
It's also kind of like not,
Unless, like, my mighty meaty spaghetti, that sauce was so fucking thick that I had to actually put it over naked noodles. But 99 times out of 100, I agree with him. I simply put the noodles in the sauce, whatever they may be, and then serve it. And give them a couple of minutes to kind of get married and happy and wonderful.
tossing a salad and
Yeah.
dressing, you know, like you want
dressing
it
on the
totally coated.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, sometimes you can pour it around and whatever, but it just is better when it's all incorporated and
Yeah.
the flavors all throughout.
Yeah. Hey everybody, if you like what we are cooking,
Or you like what we're drinking,
Or you just like us and our witty banter.
click the link below and subscribe, whether it's YouTube or Spotify or however you're watching. So okay, so now we're gonna put the finishing touches on this. So throw in the basil, let it rip. So we're gonna
you want
mix
that off, right?
the basil.
No, not yet.
So I get the basil mix. I pull this off the heat a little bit because we don't want to add the Parmesan and butter really when it's on the heat. So Liz, you could put in like 2 tablespoons of butter, just chunk them in there.
Why don't you want to add it when it's on the heat?
Because the cheese will start to get stringy, and we want the and we also want the butter to just smooth this all out and not make it. We don't want the butter to break.
Or burn. All right, beer time. Phoenix, you're vegan. How the fuck can you like butter? It's an animal product. Oh, banter. Yeah, whatever.
All right, so Liz is mixing, and I'm just gonna aggressively get this
I
cheese on
know,
top.
I seen it. My
And you
mistake.
could stir even more aggressive, Liz, because we're just making like an emulsion right now.
Vegan butter is a bastardization of butter.
And bringing that butter, the cheese, the sauce,
Get over the pan.
all together in one happy family. It's an Italian chef on Instagram that sometimes I watch. I can't think of his name. He goes, the sound of love, you know, and when you're stirring it, you hear those noodles
gurgle
going, you know.
If you stop talking for 3 seconds, everybody would hear it. Listen.
Do you ever buy, oh my God, you're gonna hate me for asking this. Do you ever buy pre-shredded
Just shoot
farm?
me now. Shoot me now.
Like, is it that much? Is there,
Oh, she's getting spanked later.
you really can taste the difference with pre-shredded parm?
Live.
It could be old.
It could be old. Like, here's something
Just
for you.
loses flavor.
Do you realize, okay, go to the grocery store. I'm gonna answer all this question for you once and all. The pre-grated parm is almost always cheaper than a block of parm. Why do you think that is?
Not much, but okay.
Well,
they put the labor in to
not by
grate the
weight.
cheese. How could it be cheaper pre-grated? It's because it's not all parm. It's some sad-ass shit. Like, I don't know what it is.
Wow.
You gotta buy this. It lasts forever.
It
Grated
really
as you
does
need
last
it.
forever. Plus, you get
No, it doesn't last forever. Eventually, yes, it will mold. It does take a long-ass time, but eventually, yes, it will mold.
the rind. And like I always throw, maybe not in this particular one, but if I'm making sauce or whatever, I always throw a rind in with my sauce because...
Or a soup.
Or soup. I keep them in the freezer, and then when I need them, I just throw them in the pan.
And so how do you store Parmesan in a fridge or out in?
Yeah.
Yeah, just wrap it in butcher paper, put...
Well, because to make bread, Phoenix, you have to kill about 8 zillion yeast. They're living creatures. Why do they have to die? But then again, every vegan is a hypocrite. Every single one of you are.
Put it in your fridge, it'll last for
I mean, unless you're living in a tent.
years.
Parchment or wax paper. You really don't want to keep it in plastic.
Okay.
I mean,
That looks amazing.
come on, wait, we're not done.
I mean,
And look how that sauce is stuck to the noodle.
yeah, it really is.
It's a beauty. Michael, always...
Not to mention, every single vegan kills mosquitoes, they kill moths, they kill various other pests. Their drywall has cow bones in it. The children of vegan idiot parents, who, by the way, should be taken away by Child Protective Services, use Elmer's glue. They use Crayola crayons, which is created out of animal fats, because the only other crayons available are oil-based. Not a good idea to give to a 5-year-old that might eat the fucking things.
finishes his pasta
So just
with
every kid
olive
is a
oil.
fucking
You got a
hypocrite.
picture of
Every
that, Liv?
vegan is a goddamn hypocrite.
I mean, that is beautiful.
Gorgeous. And that really took no time at all.
No, I mean, it comes together pretty quickly.
And you didn't even need like the whole can of tomatoes and mashing the tomatoes and breaking them down. Like this was really easy.
Look, I didn't...
And I especially love vegans that say, I'm a diabetic. Well, guess where the fuck insulin comes from, dumbass? So either stop being vegan, admit you're a hypocrite, or fucking die.
Didn't
I
even
would
use a
do this.
knife. And this is
Yeah.
like, you know.
That's great for me.
Good for you. Nikki Gopp in there is like, oh my God, they better make me a...
Well, there's a big difference between a human and a virus, but both are still life forms. Yeast is a life form that gets killed in the trillions, probably zillions. Because, you know, we want to make bread.
bowl
Heck.
lose my
And not to mention that vegans' veggies are just as blood-soaked as my meat.
stuff.
Fork for you, fork for Livy. Okay.
So no, Liv really likes cheese, so I'm gonna give her even one more.
One of my friends used to say, you can stop grating the parm when you can't see the pasta.
And this is one that really does well with cheese, you know.
I love a pasta dish.
all we know.
Oh, hot. Hot.
Come on.
Yeah, no shit. It just came out of the fucking...
Oh, hot.
Nick.
Obviously, they didn't take you on because of your brains. It's because you're hot and you're a freak.
Spicy. It's gonna be way too. No, we're
Bring a
okay.
fork, Nick.
Is it okay? Okay.
I mean, it's spicier than I would make it because I can already feel my cheeks getting a little.
Right.
But it is delicious.
When I hear vodka sauce, though, I want it to have some bite. I want it to have some cream. That's what I expect, you know.
And the pasta.
Well, pretty much, they're the ones that say, "Well, we try to live without killing things." They're hypocrites, Iron. And you're not a vegan, so what the fuck do you care?
Still like a little al dente, which I love.
Yeah, even like, I mean, it's right on the edge.
Oh, we can give you your own bowl.
Oh, hey, man. Yeah, look at it.
I got the big bowl.
Big bowl.
There you go.
Big bowl for the
Just
big man.
set it right on your belly.
This is really good. It is so creamy.
Ooh.
And I like the heat.
Right.
Now take a sip of because this does have some spice. Take a sip of your Lambrusco.
That's great. You want a sip? This is great. No knives needed. The whole thing came together with us chit-chatting away in under 30 minutes.
All right. Good enough. Let's see. I'm probably going to get demonetized anyway. All right. This is Joshua Weissman. The best steak tacos at home.
I'm not gonna say most steak taco recipes out there are wrong. I'm just saying that I think that I found the one.
Really? So, like, your wife, Highlander, there can be only one.
Something about this taco feels complete. If I was being interrogated and I was told that I could only eat one steak taco for the rest of my life, hands down, it would be this one. No debate, no contest. It's surprisingly simple. Beef, salt, and pepper, not a ton of spices, a nice salsa, maybe a little onion if you want, and that's kind of it. The thing that makes this great is the technique.
Can I get a sauce and some cheese? For the love of all that is fucking holy. And yes, it looks like that tortilla is either A, made of cheese, or B. But I like raw shredded cheese on my taco.
So that being
and you're whiter than fucking me.
Said, let's make this, shall we? We'll start by charring our vegetables for a beautiful green salsa. And we'll make our homemade tortillas. And the two secrets. One, the way that we prepare the beef, which I'll show you in a second, but also an unbelievable crunchy, cheesy cheese skirt. And that is the secret to...
Yeah, okay, that's not cheese. That's... While that's delicious, that ain't the cheese I like on my tacos.
The perfect steak taco. Before we begin, remember, all these recipes are fully written out, directions and everything on our website, and we have a brand new website.
Yeah, that ain't yeah. You think a guy with the name Joshua Weissman is a white Latino? Are you retarded?
It looks incredible. If you want a written version and a printable version, it's on there. Links in the description.
I mean, you're a professional victim already, Phoenix, but I thought you were smart.
Moving on with the recipe. So we have a lot of vegetables here. Not that many. 5 tomatillos. Ideally on the larger side. You're gonna peel their little husks off. Now if you're wondering, Josh, what is this sticky stuff that gets all over my hands when I peel these? I don't know, but as long as your hands were not sticky beforehand, then I'm happy. Now that goes directly over an open flame.
Well, I was planning to masturbate and put the result of it on my hands before I peeled my tomatillos. Guess I won't.
If you have grates, if you have a blowtorch, that works too. If you don't have either of those things, you can also put it under the broiler. The point is we just need to get these bad boys charred. Also, don't forget your jalapeno. 1 jalapeno. High heat. We're just gonna let those sit. We're gonna turn them constantly for about 3 to 5 minutes or until they're beautifully charred all the way around. You also don't have to wait if you don't want to. You can also skip this. It's not a necessity, just adds a little extra flavor. All right, now once those are done, you're gonna toss those into a bowl. Should be charred.
If you're gonna do something, fucking do it right.
all the way around. The skin should already be peeling. Cover those with plastic wrap. Just let it sit for a couple minutes to steam. Now, once they've steamed, you'll take them out and just, with a damp paper towel, just kind of rub the charred skin off. I will say, you don't have to get it all off. I think a little bit of charred skin adds a nice flavor to the sauce. Just try to get the majority of it off. Same thing with the jalapeno. Here's a little trick for you. Just kind of run it through. People like that trick, I don't know why. I will say it's pretty crucial that you don't wash this. A lot of people like to wash the char off. No, you're literally washing away all those natural oils on the pepper, the tomatillos, etc. You're losing flavor. Don't do that. Just rub them off. I know you know how to do that. Okay, we have a blender. Now, we're gonna add our charred veg. I'm gonna take the stem off my jalapeno, my tomatillos.
Well, I don't know, Iron Gullet. Your mom seems to enjoy my food.
Same thing. There's a little bit of a stem. Sometimes there is. I like to remove them. Half of a white onion.
Right before I violate her asshole.
1 whole medium-sized avocado. Obviously, skin and pit removed, please. You'll be in for a pleasant surprise if you don't remove those. Best way to do it, you could just split it in half or split it into quarters, remove the pit. I do think...
Well, no, there's no right way to cook. There's no right way to do things. This isn't right or wrong, but you can do this. You don't have to char the vegetables. If you're stupid.
Avocados are easier to peel when you quarter them because you just grab the top and just peel it off. I don't know why. It's like nature's jacket. Just
yeah, dig up her corpse.
Comes right off when you do that. Okay, so all that goes into our blender. One final thing, a half bunch of your finest cilantro. Stems, leaves, everything. Don't be shy. Just throw the whole damn thing in there. Why throw the stems away? That's wasteful. They got flavor in them. A generous couple pinches of kosher salt and the juice of 2 limes, which if you want to maximize the juice out of your lime, beat the daylights out of that lime. Roll it around, throw it at the wall. You had a bad day? Get some limes and just throw them. Disclaimer, if they go through your wall, that is not my fault. I actually don't recommend that you do that. Please don't do that. What is going on? Okay, that is in. Now we just blend till smooth as possible. I will say, you always want to check for seasoning at this point. I think a lot of salsas, because they're so acidic, really lack salt. So taste for salt first. I mean, it tastes great, but it's lacking salt. So we're gonna add a little bit more. This is the time to do it. Make sure it's seasoned perfectly. Blend that salt in, and your salsa is done. Look at this, dude. It's a little creamy, it's a little oniony, a little acidic, and just a hint of spice.
Little of this, little of that.
This is what will go on to our steak taco. That said, let's make our tortillas.
All right, decent enough sauce.
We're gonna do the easier way to make your own corn tortilla, which is literally just 2 cups of masa flour. I highly recommend getting it from Hacienda. It's my favorite place. This is not sponsored, I just like them. That's gonna go into a bowl, a generous pinch of salt to my masa flour, stir that in, and then 2 cups of water. I'm gonna just mix that by hand. I want you to get in there, you know, get to know the masa. At first it's gonna feel a little loose and you're like, uh-oh, are we okay? But then all of a sudden magic happens. I don't know what kind of witchcraft it is, but it goes from sort of a liquidy mess to a paste, and then finally, after a little bit of kneading, a little bit of time, you've got a beautiful, smooth ball of masa dough. Now we can make our tortilla. That's literally how quick it is. It's f***ing crazy. Now you're gonna need about 40-gram balls. Nice. You roll that into a nice circular ball onto a tortilla press. I plastic wrapped both sides so it doesn't stick. It's just gonna go down just like that, right? Double check and make sure that you're pressing it the size you want. We'll go a little thinner. Beautiful, look at that. Oh, Josh, what if I just use pre-made tortillas? You can, and I'm not gonna judge you for it, but I will say, this takes realistically an additional 20 to 30 minutes, but the product is 10 times better. Genuinely, I mean that, to me. Your choice.
Maybe I'll have to buy a tortilla press and try this.
That said, to cook one of these bad boys, really hot flat top or a hot...
I just always buy the goddamn shit pre-made.
Cast iron pan dry, set over medium-high heat. Once it's really hot, you're gonna take this bad boy, and here's how you put these on, okay? You don't gently put it on, you slap them on there like that. Make sure that they fully adhere. Just let her do her thing. Now, once it starts to move around the pan like this, it's pretty much done. It's almost cooked all the way through, so you need to move quickly here. That's like maybe 45 seconds to a minute. Flip, and then just quickly cook the other side. It is very important. You almost want these to be sort of like a medium rare, so to speak. And by that I mean, don't let these cook until they go completely dry. Sometimes they'll inflate a little bit. That's okay. That's actually a good thing. You can tell that this bad boy is done. It's a little dry, so immediately put that into, this is actually tortilla holder that Hacienda sells. I really sounds like I'm promoting these guys. You can put them in a folded towel, just keep them warm somewhere where they can steam and stay pliable. But the point is to know that they're cooked through, but not overcooked. They should.
Fuck it. I'm just gonna get
still be pliable without breaking. If they break really easily, then either they're overcooked or they need to steam a little bit longer. Repeat that until you get about 15 to 20 tortillas. It's a lot, but each person's gonna eat what, 3, 4 of these bad boys? What makes this the perfect ribeye steak taco is the thinness of the beef and how you assemble the whole thing. So first, don't look at this. I know what you're thinking, Josh, I don't have a fucking meat slicer. I get it, don't worry, I've got a plan for you. If you have a meat slicer or you have a very, very, very sharp knife and you're willing to do your due diligence, you want to cut this as close to paper as possible. So I have a beautiful ribeye, look at this thing. Look at this stunning ribeye. You know, I almost wanna—
Okay, not to be a dick, actually I don't give a fuck if I'm a dick or not. That is literally a commercial grade slicer.
Sing, but I can't because the song I would sing is copyrighted. You want to slice this as thinly as possible so that it is one singular piece. God, I forgot how f***ing awesome it is to have a meat slicer. I'm not trying to flex, I'm just saying it's actually sick as f***.
Oh, you're flexing, you dumb cute fuck!
Why? Because you get this. You wanna talk about meat curtains? These are meat curtains, dude. You have a whole slice of ribeye, perfectly intact, thin as paper. I mean, it's stunning. So you're gonna get about a pound of that roughly and just slice it up, stack them nicely. It's so beautiful. When you slice beef this thin, something happens to it. The Korean barbecue places, they get this, they understand this. Something special's happening right now. We're taking all those long, chewy fibers and making them so short and cutting them across the grain that this thing is gonna be so delightfully tender. The fat is gonna be so beautifully and perfectly melted, and specifically it being ribeye is what's gonna keep it from going dry, because look at the marbling of this beef. That is not gonna be dry at all. That's gonna be juicier. I'll stop myself there. All right, that should be enough. Look at that, dude. It's like a stack of cards. Beautiful.
What, juicier than your mom's cunt?
Now, keep that cold. Now I'm gonna show you my secret. If you don't have a meat slicer, well, why would I get a meat slicer if there's a workaround? The reality is, by having a meat slicer, you get to control what the steak is gonna be, which is ribeye. The trick, if you don't have that, an Asian market, going to get shabu shabu beef. This is Kobe beef, top blade. This is a Wagyu. You don't have to buy the Wagyu one, but look at this. Beautifully thinly sliced beef. They already have a meat slicer where they do all that thin meat slicing for you. This
Yeah, but not everyone has an Asian market that's convenient. My nearest one, and I love it, is 15 minutes away.
This is even thinner than what I can get. I mean, this is literally like paper. Beautiful. We're gonna be making sort of a crispy cheese skirt, if you will. And I'm using quesillo cheese. This is also called Oaxaca cheese. There are many names for it. You just need a nice melting cheese that's firm, and you're gonna coarsely grate that. It doesn't need to be perfect, and this is kind of difficult to grate. If it starts getting hard, you can also just like break it up with your hand.
Yeah, this is another thing that I highly recommend the food processor for. This takes 20 minutes, 10 minutes to grate it by hand. It takes literally 18 seconds for the food processor to deal with.
Because ultimately, we're literally gonna melt it directly on our griddle. Boom, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, now for our garnishes, keeping it very simple. Cilantro, onion, lime wedge. So for the onion, I want this to be diced as small as possible. It really doesn't matter how you do it. You could dice it perfectly, you could brunoise it, rough chop it, and then just make it really fine with your knife. Do it however you want to do it. I'm gonna do a little bit of a brunoise because I'm insufferable. The way I like to do mine, because I'm very anal about the size of it, is I'll actually cut off both the root and the top. You only need a half onion's worth, by the way. And then I'll split these into petals. So you've got these single layers. You're gonna flatten them out, and then you're just gonna run your knife along and slice these sort of fingers. And they're about a 1/4 inch wide. Once you've done that, you're then just going to go the other direction, the same width, about a 1/4 of an inch.
Jesus Christ, it'd be easier just to rehydrate minced onions.
So you end up with perfect
or dehydrated
little,
onions.
Tiny brunoise cubes. Look at these. They look like little baby teeth. That's what I like on my taco. Baby teeth. This is the slowest way you could do it. I get it. Not everyone has time for this. Then don't do it. Cut it however the you want to cut it. God damn. Lime wedges. You can do them traditional wedges. I actually like to do cheeks. I'm not trying to make a joke here. To cheek a lime. It's very easy actually. Instead of cutting it directly in half, identify where that center point is and just go off center of that just so you remove an outer cheek. It should look kind of like that. See? Then you're gonna rotate, repeat, rotate, repeat, rotate, and repeat. Okay? You're left behind with this. Put this in the fridge, the freezer. You can juice this. You can put a little bit in your drink, but you're not gonna use this for your taco. These are what you're gonna use for your taco. Now, I prefer to do this because I think this gets you the most bang for your buck with juice. Wedges, the juice gets kind of caught up in the gnarled kind of pith and flesh of the lime. This will maximize the juice coming out. Personally,
I've never had that problem. I'll just half my limes and do it like that.
no preference. I also think it looks pretty, right? So repeat that with 3 limes, and then once you're done, we're ready to assemble. Now, to cook these tacos, you're gonna do 2 things at once. First, we're gonna make our cheese skirt. Now, if you're using a large griddle like this, one side will be medium high, the other will be medium. Or you can use 2 large cast iron pans. Now, on the medium side, add a little bit of your cheese, about the size of the tortilla. Let that melt down. Once it's halfway melted, add your tortilla on top, and let that cook until caramelized and crispy, about 1 to 2 minutes. Now, while that's going, in the medium high one, slap in 1 slice of your beef. Sear it for about 1 minute, season with salt and pepper, flip, sear the other side for another 30 seconds, add a little bit more salt, and take that off. Once your cheese skirt is done, flip your tortilla over, heat the other side, and to assemble, add your beef on top of your cheese skirt, followed by your salsa, white onion, a little bit of flaky salt, cilantro, and a touch of lime juice. Repeat with the rest of your tortillas and beef. Where did this idea come from? It's from one of my favorite restaurants, Este in Austin, Texas. My friend Fermin Nunez does it. He has not told me the recipe, but shout out to him. Cheers. I mean, honestly.
Again, that's ribeye, so that might work, but I like to still have some raw cheese in my taco.
Hands down, this is, to me, the perfect steak taco. It's not hard to chew. You bite into it, and you got that soft corn tortilla.
Okay, all right, we'll see about this from Babish, I guess.
Here, this is not authentic Japanese or German food. It's authentic Bobby food. Emilio?
This is why I despise food
what's up, guys?
critics.
Welcome back to Binging with Babish. I'm very excited to be exploring some food from the new seasons of King of the Hill. In fact, season 2 of the revival just premiered. And last season, there was one episode particularly focused on Bobby's restaurant, where he's marrying some interesting flavors from Japanese and German cuisine. Not two cuisines that I would imagine putting together, but it did sound
Well, if a certain side had won a certain war.
interesting. So, let's see how it tastes here on a good old-fashioned Binging with Babish.
Yeah, is that why one of the central themes of the menu was that? Or didn't you watch that movie?
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. They've supported this.
Alright, I don't care about his goddamn deal.
I am neither German nor Japanese. Actually, I do have some German in me. I have no Japanese, but to be fair, I'm recreating stuff from a cartoon.
So we're safe.
I think we're perfectly safe. We didn't come up with this stuff. And the episode has a message about cultural appropriation, which you'll have to watch to find out.
Which, cultural appropriation is the stupidest fucking thing I think I've ever fucking heard of. Yeah, that means we live in the modern world. We take shit from each other and then improve on it or give our own spin. So fuck off and fuck you if you think a cultural appropriation is a thing.
First up, we need to make a dipping sauce. I'm combining 1 cup of whole milk plain yogurt with 2 cloves of garlic, grated, and half a small shallot, also grated. We're also gonna add the juice from one particularly juicy lemon. We're gonna want that acid to contrast all the richness and fishiness that we're gonna be dealing with. And we're gonna add a solid handful of chopped fresh dill. Make sure you finely chop it because you don't want long strands of dill in your dipping sauce. We're also seasoning to taste with kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper. Mix until fully homogeneous. And to bring a little bit of Japanese flair, I'm gonna season it with some furikake. This is a mixture of salt, sugar, toasted nori, and toasted sesame seeds, all of which are gonna be welcome flavors in this situation. Give it a taste for seasoning and ideally let it sit in the fridge overnight to let the flavors get to know each other. Next up, the herring itself. And I'm sorry I hit record a little late on this one, so I don't have the actual herring coming out of the jar, but it is.
Oh, and this is when Jake would have a fucking hissy fit if it was me.
Wine marinated jarred herring. Maybe one of my least favorite foodstuffs in the world. Let's see if tempura can save it. So I'm patting the fish dry and then dusting it in potato starch before dropping it in a very standard tempura batter. Dip the fish in that mixture and drop it straight into some preheated 350°F neutral flavored oil. These are gonna fry for 2 to 4 minutes. They're not gonna get deeply golden brown, this being tempura batter, but they should pick up some color. Evacuate those onto a wire rack set in a rim baking sheet and sprinkle some furikake on them while they're still hot. All there is left to do is plate it up and try it. I'm gonna sprinkle a little extra furikake on the fish and the dipping sauce itself, and there you have it, an easy and interesting appetizer from Robata Chain. But let's see how it tastes, and the answer is not very good. I'm not a big herring fan, so don't trust me, but it was extremely fishy and mushy from being both marinated and then cooked again. So, not my favorite.
I've never actually had a real reason to say this, but dang it, Bobby.
Next up, the thing I'm most excited about, yuzu wurst sausage, something Bobby describes as a bratwurst with pickled daikon, rice, and yuzu. To make the sausage
Okay, that scares the shit out of me.
itself, I have 3 pounds of boneless pork shoulder that I'm gonna cube into 1 inch.
All right, I have to take a quick restroom break. I will be right back. Okay.
Inch pieces. I'm setting all these on parchment paper set in a rim baking sheet and throwing them in the freezer for 20 to 30 minutes until they're really firm around the edges but not totally frozen through. I'm gonna do the same with 1 pound of pork fat back, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's pork, it's fat, and it's back. And it too is getting cubed into 1-inch pieces and put in the freezer. So too is some veal. I couldn't find some whole pieces of veal, so I have 2 pounds of veal stew meat that I'm gonna cube up and put in the freezer, along with my meat grinder, which is about to get strapped to my stand mixer. Now, Bobby does describe the sausage as stuffed with rice. So I've got some sushi rice that I've steamed here that I'm sprinkling with a little bit of sushi rice vinegar and kosher salt and letting cool completely before
Now, I know it's a cartoon, but why the fuck would you add rice to a brat?
adding it to my sausage. I hope I don't have to explain why you don't add hot rice to cold, raw sausage. Next up, the daikon. I have some pickled Japanese daikon here that I'm going to finely chop. I don't want big pieces of daikon. I don't want it to be crunchy. I just want it to bring the flavor. So, nice fine chop, about a cup's worth. And now it's time, as Gen Z likes to say, to get to grind, to hit the grind, to, what do they say? First, I'm passing all this pork and veal and pork fat back through my grinder's coarsest plate, which is going to give us a coarse, pebbly grind. Then, we're putting that ground meat back in the freezer for 15 minutes to firm up again and passing it through our finest grinder plate, giving us a nice, smooth farce for our bratwurst. Now it's time to season and emulsify that.
Yeah, but the problem with rice in a brat is that eventually it pokes through, causing all the grease to go out, causing the brat to be fucking terrible.
Farce. So in the bowl of a stand mixer, I'm combining my ground meat with 2 tablespoons of kosher salt, 1 tablespoon of ground white pepper, 1 teaspoon of mace.
I have seen brats with wild rice in them, and guess what? They're fucking terrible.
2 teaspoons ground ginger, 2
They lose all their fucking grease, they lose all their fucking fat,
teaspoons of dried mustard,
and they're drier than your mother's cunt.
1.5 teaspoons of freshly grated nutmeg. Nutmeg is an essential spice to the bratwurst experience. I'm gonna add 1 egg yolk just for some richness and structure, and for even more richness, 1 cup of ice.
You've never actually made your own brats, Iron Gullet.
Cold heavy cream, and I'm starting with about 2 tablespoons of yuzu juice. I don't want to overwhelm with yuzu flavor. I want it to play nice with everything, so I'm starting small. We can always adjust later on. Last but not least, we're going to beat some crushed ice into the farce. So I've got some ice that I'm pulsing in the blender until it's about the texture of an icy, and adding about a half cup to our farce mixture. Then we're beating this on high speed for 1 to 3 minutes until it lightens in color, gets sort of smooth and smeary. Once emulsified, I'm gonna add my sushi rice. I don't wanna overprocess the rice and break it up too much. Then it's time to give it a taste test. So I'm gonna grab a little ball of the meat, I'm gonna pat it out into a patty, fry it in a frying pan with a little bit of vegetable oil until it's golden brown on both sides, and see how this thing tastes. And the answer is really fantastic. The yuzu actually plays very nicely with the warming spices, and the daikon brings a wonderful acidic hit. But I don't think it's yuzu-y enough, so I'm going to yuzu some yuzu kosho. This is a yuzu paste that's been seasoned with salt and spices, so let's emulsify that together, see what that tastes like, and it's pretty grand. It's got a really nice balance.
Great, so you ate half the goddamn batch.
Of flavors that all work surprisingly well together. The only thing that kind of sucks is the rice. It feels like a filler and it kind of screws up the structure of the sausage, so I would recommend leaving the rice out. I'm gonna dump this farce out onto a parchment-lined rim baking sheet, put it back in the freezer for another 10-15 minutes to firm it up, and then it's time to stuff our sausages. I have some natural hog casings here that I'm soaking in ice water to rinse off the salt. Now all we need to do is thread it onto our sausage stuffer like an endless condom. Then once we got enough on there, snip off the end, tie a knot, and poke a hole. This is to prevent air from being pushed by the farce through the grinder into the sausage and inflating it, not unlike a balloon. Then it's time to start diligently stuffing the farce back into the grinder and using it to fill our sausages. An act best accomplished with 3 hands. It's really hard to grind sausage by yourself, so I recommend recruiting a friend or loved one, or enemy if you want to know your enemy. I'm doing something stupid, which is twisting the sausages as I go. You shouldn't do that. I don't know why I did it. I truly don't remember my thought process. I must have been high. But either way, you want to twist the sausages in opposing directions. That helps
Well, that completely burst, proving my point.
prevent them from unfurling when you cook them. But that shouldn't be an issue because now we're gonna let these sit uncovered in the fridge overnight. This is going to dry out the casings a little bit and help prevent them from splitting on the grill. Now these sausages are gonna be cooked twice, basically. We're gonna start by poaching them in beer. I have some wonderful Japanese Asahi beer, one of my favorites, which I'm gonna bring to 180 degrees Fahrenheit and poach the
Okay, you don't have to goddamn get pretentious beer to fucking... You could use Budweiser.
sausages gently for 15 to 25 minutes, depending on the girth of your
But I generally do say yes. Poach your goddamn brats in beer and then finish them off in the grill.
sausage. You basically want it to reach 155, 165 degrees Fahrenheit at its thickest point. Once it's there, take it out, let it cool completely, cover it, and put it in the fridge for up to 3 days before consuming. Now into one of the central plot points of the episode, the binchotan charcoal, which Bobby is insistent on using for authenticity.
How do you know if a food is
Can I get bicho? Can I get bicho, whatever, grill? Bincho charcoal. Can I buy it? Can I Fondo, son of a bitch! Oh my god! Yeah, I don't love you guys that much. I'm not gonna pay $80 for 11 pounds of charcoal.
I don't know how to define a food as authentic.
I like my lump charcoal. I'm gonna stick with that.
I do know how to define it as inauthentic, and that's what all this stuff is, because it's a mishmash of culture. So I have some bichotan that I'm placing in a charcoal chimney and placing that directly above a high-powered burner. This is going to ignite all the charcoal throughout as it goes for 20-25 minutes until all the coals are bright red and there's white ash forming on the outside. I'm transferring this to our bichotan grill, enjoying the slow-mo and all the particles you can see. I'm turning on my commercial-grade ventilation system because I'm doing this indoors. Do not do this indoors. And prepping my sausage. Doing a little food styling by rubbing it down sensually with some vegetable oil. It's gonna help it brown up a little bit more evenly.
So basically you're masturbating it.
I'm cutting it into links. It's a little curved, so I'm cutting out the curved bits, which,
What
you know,
the
those will be little
fuck?
snacks for me. But the robata skewers that Bobby presents are little straight segments of sausage, so that's what I'm trying to imitate. And I'm going to impale these sausages on 2 skewers. This is gonna allow me to rotate the sausages reliably. Otherwise, they might just spin on the single skewer and you might not be able to grill them evenly. Once you got your sausages skewered, it is time for the moment of truth. That's right, I am pitting charcoal against propane. I'm gonna grill up some of these sausages on the bichotan charcoal, but I'm also gonna grill some sausage over propane. To find
See, brats are a little different. Alright, I'm just gonna give my opinion. Brats on a charcoal fire or wood fire, I do indirect, and I love it. But if I want to go direct and quick, yeah, I bust out the propane grill.
now, once and for all, which one's better? As you can see, on the left I have the bichotan, and on the right the propane. The bichotan browned it a little better. There's less carbon buildup on the outside. That's one of the great things about bichotan, is that it burns very cleanly and it doesn't flare as much as normal charcoal or propane. As you can see, the propane sausage has some black buildup, some soot on the outside from flare-ups. So let's give them a try. The charcoal one is very, very good. It does have a nice, clean taste. I am indeed tasting the meat rather than the heat.
Although I will say shout out to Babish. Always use metal skewers. Those wood ones are fucking useless. I don't care if you soak them. I don't care if you freeze them. I don't care what the fuck you do. If you shove them up an orca's fucking ass, they're gonna burn before the meat's done.
But the bichotan is really something special. I prefer the bichotan. It's crispier on the outside. It's got a really deep carbonized flavor from that charcoal. It's for sure a dirtier meat experience, but it's
Just get the goddamn lump charcoal.
one that I prefer. But I'm just one guy. So
Now
I'm gonna bring on my
again,
dear friend.
if I was to recreate Bobby Hill's creation here, I don't give a fuck what he's using. I'm not that fucking committed to the bit.
And Sawyer and Brad to taste test.
I'm an American. I will fucking add the German, add the Japanese, and then I'm gonna cook it over American lump charcoal. God damn American. Lit by gunfire. That's how I light my charcoal. I shoot it.
These 2 sausages and point out their favorite. 3, 2, 1. Wow, it takes all kinds. It would seem as though Sawyer prefers to taste the meat and not the heat. Last but not least, something I'm morbidly curious about, sauerkraut ice cream. This is apparently a thing. I found multiple recipes online that seem to have their roots in German cuisine.
Ugh, sauerkraut. Yuck. Yuck. Ick. And that's a perfect place to end the video. So I'm going to be back on my other channel in a couple of minutes. And we'll talk about the news of the day. Go to Dave's Opinions if you want to see that. Good night, everybody.